It's not our first collaboration with Alesia, but it's the first time we're doing this set. And it will be part prepared, part improvisation. How are you in the first place, though? Yeah, that's no. Usually you don't ask the audience, but you're fine. Okay, good. Because it's been a long day. It's been a long day, and it's been also probably an emotional day for Belarusians because we have 250 political prisoners released today. So yeah, let's see it as a celebration as well, co-presence. Just a few words about what we are going to do tonight. I will read the poems. Some of them will be just in English, others will be both in Belarusian and English, but I will read the English first so the English people, the English-speaking audience understands what's about, and then the Belarusian original will follow to enjoy the music of it. And there will be 3 parts, but we will not have breaks unless we really need to. What else did I want to say? The translations of the poems are made by myself and edited by some of them by John Farndon, who is sitting over there, and the others by Mary Kohler, an American poet. Hello. Okay. Is there another? There is a seat over there.
Yeah, there are 2 seats.
2 seats over there. Yeah. Okay. So that, and yeah. Afterwards, feel free to ask questions. Every poem obviously has a story, and I won't be telling all of them because then it will take us 3 hours instead of 1. Well, I guess that's all. We can start. The first part will be the poems that I wrote for my first collection, which was published in 2017. So these are old poems, and I haven't read them for ages, but I really appreciate them. A leave poem. Before you leave, write me a poem. In it, recall what you remember. Tell them how I drive needles under my fingernails and scream from pain because I can't scream with pleasure. Tell them how the extreme pressure of my language makes blood drip from my nose to foul your white shirts. How I pull out powdery skeletons from my cupboard on Saturday mornings, always the same ones. How I tag every single thing in the flat with our names to remember what is yours and where my space is. How I take off my skin before going to bed, and you are so scared of the naked flesh that you never sleep with me. Write me a poem and scream it, waken from nightmares. Take it instead of amphetamine. Love it in a safe and convenient way. Just don't show me. Be its mother and its father. Leave for me only 2 last lines, the ones that mean nothing. A doll. This doll didn't do anything bad. Her torn-out eye is replaced with a button, her ear cut, and her mouth stitched up with a shoemaker's needle. Her ripped-off arm tossed for the cats to play with. A hole made between her legs so she can give birth to more of her kind. With her neck tied round with a pink bow, she is fussed over, rocked in the cradle, spoon-fed, until the food falls down her chin and stains her dress with something resembling soup or sperm. Blotches appear on the doll's body. Her little owner doesn't know why. Am I not taking a good care of you? You ungrateful thing. At night, the doll opens her eye, unties the knot of her neck, rips off the other ear and stuffs it between her legs to fill the emptiness. Creeping close to those who brought her here, she lies in bed between them. Лялька. Гэтая лялька ні ў чым не вінаватая. Ёй выдралі вока, замест яго ўплішчылі гузік. З асаблівай жорсткасцю адрэзалі вуха, зашылі рот тоўстую іголку для абутку, адарвалі руку, кінулі коцы гуляцца. Паміж ног прарэзалі дзірку, каб магла нараджаць падобных сабе. Перавязалі шыю ружовай стужкаю з бантам і носяцца з ёй, люляюць яе ў калысцы, кормяць з лыжкі, а ежа сцякае па падбароддзі. Сукенка заляпаная нечым падобным да супу ці спермы. У лялькі на целе з'яўляюцца плямы. Гаспадыня не можа ўцяміць. Хіба я кепска цябе даглядаю? Крыўдзіцца няўдзячная лялька. Ночью лялька расплющивая вока, развязывая вузел на шее, отрывая другое вухо и запихивая его у промежжа, каб заполнить пустэчу. Дапаўзае до тых, хто калісьці прынёс яе ў дом, і кладзецца між імі ў ложак. A good daughter. You get kicked off the bus, drunk. I press my doll to my chest and stay silent. I smile at your friends, those drunkards and fools, like I'm good, and stay silent. You dig the fork into the flesh of your arm. I hand you a towel and stay silent. I bang on the neighbor's door to protect my sister and mom and stay silent. I watch you sleep where you fell, breaking chairs and our hearts, and stay silent. As you are growing old and breaking down, I am silently healing my wounds, your good daughter. Fear of heights. I'm suffering from a desperate fear of falling. I'm 6 and learning to ride a bicycle, crashing, bashing my knees, grazing my hands. Dad licks my wounds like a dog, and the pain eases. I'm 27 and still don't know how to ride a bicycle. The fear remains. Where are you now, Dad? Where? So many wounds, and who is to heal them? I know I'm a grown-up now. Things slip from my fingers, Some matter, most don't. Let them break, these numerous things, but never people whose smile I won't stop saying, whose images are spotless. For too long now we've been here without you, my light-filled friend. I live only on rooftops. I'm so afraid of open windows on the 11th floor. Страх вышыні. Покутаю от хронічнага страху упасти. Мне 6, я вучуся ездить на ровары. Падаю, разбиваю коленки, пошкребанные долоні. Тата залізває рани мне, як той собака. І боль сутихає. Мне 27, а я на ровары ездить не умею. Страх застаўся. Дзе ты цяпер, тата? Дзе? Столькі ранаў, хто іх залечыць? Ну і што сама ўжо дарослая? Выслізваюць з рук прадметы, каштоўныя і не вельмі. Няхай разбіваюцца, гэта ўсяго толькі рэчы, рэчаў на свеце багата. З людзьмі не так. З людзьмі, чая усмешка заўсёды перад вачамі, на чыім вобразе ніводнае плямы. Так доўга мы без цябе тут, мой светлы сябра. Я жыву цяпер толькі на дахах, бо баюся адчыненых вокнаў 12-го паверху. To Mom. Your cables stretched all the way to me, and current flows in them. It was not you who created them, nor laid them out. You were not the engineer-in-chief. You wouldn't even be a good electrician, because you'd tie loose wires in knots and cause accidents. Nor even an electric pole, because you're unreliable. You must be a wire, and I must be its continuation. Together we are part of an endless electrical circuit. Most people can only be consumers of electricity, but you and I have no right to break. We must endure power surges, flocks of birds, changes of weather. We must look after the insulation and never allow wires to fray. Where you end, I begin. We are carriers of the current vital for life. We didn't choose the fate. It chose us. I'm not blaming you that I'm no current. I'm just a wire. I'm not blaming you for anything at all. I'm not. I kiss your wrinkles, stroke your hair. I forgive you and let it all go. Матулі. Пупавіна правадоў расцягнулася на ўвесь мой шлях. Па іх бяжыць ток. Не ты яго вынайшла, не ты замоўца, не галоўны інжынер. Нават электрык з цябе не атрымаўся, бо месцы разрываў ты завязвала б вузлом. ствараючы аварыйныя сітуацыі. Нават не электрычны слуп, бо ніякага на цябе апірышча. Напэўна, ты провад, а я ягоны працяг. І разам мы частка бясконцай лініі электраперадач. Большасці выпала быць адно спажыўцамі электрычнасці, а мы не маем права ірвацца. Мы мусім вытрымліваць наймацнейшы накал, скачкі напружання, птушыныя зграі, змены надвор'я, берагчы ізаляцыю, не дапускаць аголенасці на лініі. Дзе заканчвайся ты, пачынаюся я. Мы пераносчыкі току, неабходнага для жыцця. Мы не выбіралі лёс, але лёс выбраў нас. Я не вінавачу цябе за тое, што ты не ток, што ты толькі провад. Я не вінавачу цябе ні за што, не вінавачу цябе, не. Я цалую твае зморшчынкі, лашчу твае валасы. Я дарую табе всё, раз і назаўжды, роднае. To my ex-mother-in-law. Shedding her gifts like sand that got between my toes, in my clothes bag, in the creases of my sheets, and my private parts. Washing from myself a thick layer of dirt that grew on me during those 14 days of no hot water in the whole neighborhood. A shirt, a night dress, a polka-dotted dressing gown, a candle, a card, an icon. A few smiles, a scarce hug, and a good word for Christmas. I was sure there were more of her gifts, but that's all there were. Money doesn't matter. It's the interest on your loan that counts. Just like the words she used to tie me down to the craven table of love. I will mail them to her, packed nicely, to mark their death to each other, hers and her husband's. No signature, no return address, by registered post. The rest I'll give away or dump or burn to ensure her curse dies. How are you? Are you all right? Great. Everyone, Alan, are you standing? Would you like a chair? There are some stools there in the corner.
I don't sleep if I stand.
Okay. Honesty. You sure? Because there is also a seat over there.
There's a seat here. I get a better view if he's not.
Okay, up to you.
Thank you. Дякую.
So that was part one. Part two, as far as you understood, since I have a ex-mother-in-law, I probably have an ex-husband as well. Which means I was divorced, and that kind of finalized that big, huge part of my life. and part 2 will be the next stage, that started after divorce and with me moving to Ireland for a year and ending with a protest in 2020 in Belarus and how it connected the kind of the patriarchy and its effect on women and the state violence and its effect on a woman. Dublin night. Wrap around me like ripcord, softly listening to the endless pounding of weary drums and the heartbeat of the speakers, identifying tourists by the accents of their laughter, till my wounds merge with your leaves. Огарни меня трыпутнікам цела свайго. Ціха ляжаць, слухаць рэха маўчання трамвайных рэек, стомленых барабанаў зацяганыя рытмы, з дынаміка ў сэрца біццё, акцэнты смеху турыстаў. Пакуль не зрастуцца раны мае з тваім лісцем. To unify. Do this. Come for a visit, sit in front of them, say, I need to talk to you, and start crying. Cry for everything they haven't been for you. Cry that they never grew up and didn't protect you from themselves. That you still can't lean on them. That staring out the window is more amusing than being in their space. I'm so just like you. Sounds sick. Cry that escaping from them, you're throwing yourself into their own arms. For anxiety wakes up before you and sings, sleep, baby. So scary and so unsafe out there. You won't make it on your own. Don't even think you can. Find someone to cling to adhere and get attached to. Let him carry the responsibility for your happiness. You can stay a little girl for a while longer. Cry steadily, chokingly, take no breaks. You don't want to give them time to disagree. It's okay if they don't understand. It's fine that they are confused, exchanging glances and sharing guilty silence. If all you have accomplished on your own cannot unite them, maybe guilt will. bounded. Bounded by a semolina lamp, by the hem of mom's skirt, by the cup cracked along the rose, by the flower given to mom not by her husband, bounded by mom's husband, while he is bounded by the memory of the chicken's head which his father cut off in the front of his eyes. How can you not be bounded after that? What if all of a sudden it's you who, or it's your head, bounded by an egg, by chain link fencing, by grain, by vertex, by father's name, by mom's lump, the hem of her skirt? Now that you know what kind of beast I am, set me free or run. Обмежаваныя камяком манным, падолам мамкіным. Абмежаваныя кубачкам з трэшчынай уздоўж ружы. Абмежаваныя ружаю, якую маме дорыць не яе муж. Абмежаваныя маміным мужам, а ён абмежаваны успамінамі пра галаву курыцы, што ў яго на вачах адсек тата. Як не абмяжоўваць сябе цяпер? Раптам ты, раптам цябе, галаву абмежаваную яйкам, абмежаваную сеткай рабіцай, зернем, цемень, імем па бацьку, камяком мамкіным, падолам, трэшчынай, вяроўкай вешальнік, апошнім зубам цэлым, целам. Цяпер, калі ты ведаеш, што я за звер, вызвалі або бяжы. Through the dark woods, my shadow and my shadow's shadow walking through the woods, scared of everything, sprouting stumps, weird insects, talking trees, as if this world revolved around me always, as if the roots across the path stuck out for me to trip over them and fall all the way, as if moss didn't grow on trees so that it couldn't be my landmark. What else would you expect from a shadow of a shadow walking through dark woods? Not what I wanted her to be. Sick and fatigued, awake, longing for someone to lie beside me. Someone who doesn't want to fuck me. Friends, male and female, needed and wanted. consider my mama. If I come to her, lie down by her side, I will make her the happiest mama. But I can't. Because when I would get sick as a child, she'd check my temperature and give me medication rather than lying next to me, singing and crying, rather than whispering to me, "Forgive me, my little girl, that no one taught me affection." Coming after the storm. The sea inside me will calm down when I tell you how I counted your moles, creating a new universe from them. What phantoms came to you when you were asleep. I gave your ghosts my rings, necklaces, and my little red shoes. I was barely breathing just as they left, not to wake you. And my lungs became autumn leaves. This sea inside me will calm down when I tell you, and you'll listen. A cake. Simply to be near, quietly cutting a cake, dropping the gentle crumbs of calmness over the table, knowing that the sharpness of the knife is not a metaphor, but a part of the space that you share. Cutting the cake quietly, not out-shouting the rain, letting all the participants in the scene play their roles. Let only two things remain: this imitation of the sun and this knife. May the poem be not about you at all. May the tap be dripping. May things have a life of their own. When you bring a piece of the moist cake up to your lips, it will fill your mouth with flavor on a tongue that gives more than it takes. Просто быть побач. Резать пірог і мовчать. Лагодныя драбкі цішы выпускаць на стол. Ведаць, што вастрыня ножа не метафора, а частка вашай агульнай прасторы. разаць пірог і маўчаць, не перакрыкваць дождж, дазволіць усім удзельнікам сцэны граць свае ролі. Няхай застануцца ў свеце толькі гэтая імітацыя сонца і гэты ноч. І верш зусім няхай не пра вас, і кран цячэ, і рэчы жывуць уласным жыццём. А вы паднясеце да рота кавалкі вільготнага пірага, запоўніце рот літарамі яго, загаворыце мовай, што аддае больш, чым бярэ. Гэта і ёсць любоў. Разам маўчаць, значыць мець давер, не маючы словам. Radiation. Cartilage crackles when I open my arms to let you in. My knees are sore. It's bad for me to run to where your freedom flies, far beyond my contaminated poetry. I'm radiating love, loaded with plutonium. Leave me to my tumors and find a non-radioactive womb. Трышчаць храсткі, калі я расхінаю рукі. Пусціць цябе. Баляць калені, бегчы за табой. Твоя свобода сягае далей за мою забрудженную паэтыку. Я выпраменьваю любоў, абцяжараную плутоніем. Пакінь мяне маім хваробам. Шукай нерадыеактыўнае улонне. Women's solidarity chains. There are no flowers nor tears along the road. Only the beeping from the passing cars. I want to be my body again. Neither red nor white or black, nor the hands holding reproach, but bare feet walking on grass. I put on a thimble and pet your hair. I do this to my fingers. Imagine my heart. A living woman. Neither a battle flag nor a bud of hope. I want to hear my voice. I want my body back. I want to hear my voice. I want my body back. I must never have wanted it so badly. дарогі ні кветак, ні слёз, толькі звон стаіць увушу. Я хочу быць зноў целам сваім. Не чырвоным, не белым, не чорным, не рукамі, што трымаюць папрок, а босонож по траве. Надяваю на парстак і лашчу твае валасы. Калі я так з пальцамі, уяві маё сэрца. Жывая жанчына, не штандар, не надзея. Хачу вярнуць сабе голас і цела. Можа быць, я ніколі так моцна гэтага не хацела. Second part is over. And part 3 logically moves to immigration, which isn't an easy experience. And it also, so it consists of several poems that I wrote already here in London, about immigration, but also most of you know that I'm doing a PhD. And my doctoral thesis is about the connections between domestic and state violence in Belarus, women's experiences. And it's been a beautiful journey for me, not only intellectual but actually emotional, because I've been doing autoethnography, so I've been using including my familial story of violence and my mother's story a lot. And it's a feminist research, which means that I got to look at a lot of things from a different angle, including my mother and her story. And thanks to that research, I actually learned to see my mother for the person who she is, rather than who I want her to be. And it's been a very healing process. So some of these poems will be about immigration, and a couple of them about my mom. And if in the beginning, in part 1, part 2, I think those were rather there was quite a bit of resentment, I would say, on my side towards my parents and my mother. I can say that I even healed my relationship with my father, although there are no poems dedicated to him, but to my mom, there will be. That's just like for you to know there is a happy ending, because this whole reading, why I wanted to focus on the poems about family and relationship with the parents in childhood trauma and patriarchy and violence and how they impact us, is to show a journey of transformation that it takes a long time and it takes a lot of work, but it's possible. I am burying a bumblebee under marigold petals by Nana's porch, grieving what's yet to be lost. Nana's garden, black chokeberries as a collective unconscious. Luli, 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 all the children are asleep. I alone am awake, walking through the streets that flare in my memory like floodlight in your eyes when they pull you out of a police van. You'll wake, and the past 5 years are icing sugar you can lick off to find beneath something still alive. I also have PTSD, Hanna, said my ex, a Brit. But I don't have PTSD. I have black chokeberries and red currants in my Nana's garden gone soft. I've grown up enough not to fear Colorado beetles, but I stand by the neighbor's door crying, "What time is it? When will it end?" Dad threatens from mom's smartphone screen. You have to be home before dark. Dad. Home. A one-room flat for 4, like a cell for 4, where there were 38 of you. Dad. Black chokeberries and red currants have gone soft. Nana's garden is the collective unconscious. Я хаваю чмеля под пялёсткамі нагодку на бабуліным ганку. Чорныя арабіны, калектыўныя падсвядомыя. Люлі, 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 дзеткі ўсе паснулі. Толькі я не сплю, шпацырую па вуліцах, што ўспыхваюць памяці, як святло пражэктару вочы, калі выводзяць з аўтазака. Ты прачнешся, а мінулыя 5 гадоў цукровая пудра, якую можна злізаць, і пад ёй яшчэ будзе штосьці жывое. У мяне таксама ПТСР, Ханна, сказаў мой былы брытанец. А ў мяне няма ПТСР. У мяне чорныя арабіны і чырвоныя парэчкі ў бабуліным агародзе пераспелі. Я такая дарослая вырасла, каралацкіх жукоў не баюся. Але я стаю і раву пад дзвярыма суседзяў. Колькі часу, калі гэта скончыцца? Тата пагражае з экрана мамінага смартфона, каб да цемнаты была дома. Дом. Аднапакаёўка на 4, як 4-месная камера, у якой вас было 38. Тата, тут чорныя арабіны і чырвоныя парэчкі пераспелі. Бабулін агарод, калектыўнае, падсвядомае. Letters. Sunflower is Ukrainian, wrote Clarice Lispector, whose parents moved to Brazil from the pogroms in Ukraine in the 1920s, who I am reading on the plane taking me to one of the few countries I don't need a visa to. Was the sunflower that I played with as a child in my grandmother's vegetable garden Ukrainian too? And whose are the borders? The air in the pores of the soil, inside a worm that travels across the border, without permission, unnoticed, not defined by the color of the passport, by the color. What color is a failed uprising? I want to be the soil inside the worm crossing the border, the air in its pores smuggled without a passport, without the color of my passport checked for humanity, without humiliation of the failed uprising participant. Where do you come from? Where do you come back from? When will you come back from where you're from? Are you from? Out? Out of? Are you a pronoun, preposition, noun, a space, a dash, a comma, a sunflower at the border? A worm cut in two by the spade digging a grave. I swallowed the streets of Minsk, the sunsets over the roofs, reflections in the windows the shudder of. I swallowed my boxes with books, my favorite dress, my medical records, my hormonal tests, and I swallowed the problems I had with my parents, the gaps in our ancestral history, the hollows of memory. The sunflower seeds in my mama's fingers. When I come back, we will cry. When I come back, it will feel like I've never left. When I come back, you will come back too, if you want, if you left, if there is anything left for you. If you are also a language, lost and found, disappearing and reappearing, soil in and out of the soft worm's body. Never certain that this time it will work, but always believing. Always turn to the sun, like a sunflower's head. When I come back, I will watch my mama's fingers flipping sunflower seeds in our kitchen, in her kitchen. The seeds will disappear in her mouth like the days we spent apart. We won't talk about the life that has passed between come and back. What happens to the worm cut in two? What happens to a ripped up passport? What happens to the border if a country stops existing? Sunflower head is made up of 2,000 florets. A worm has 5 hearts. My face is always turned towards home. I haven't come back yet, but I already cry. I'm always 17, just like my mama. I love to laugh, just like my mama. To sing and dance, just like my mama. But I barely ever laugh, just like my mama. I walk lost in thoughts, just like my mama. I live as if in a dream, just like my mama. I sing and dance rarely, just like my mama. Both me and my mama sleep uneasily in different parts of the world. We ask one another about the weather there. My mama and I both like the sun, although she is Leo and I'm Pisces. I'll order some gladioli for her birthday, as pretty and brave as my mama. The last poem is coming. You were eating an onion, as if it was an apple, sitting on the little step between our kitchen and the balcony. Fool, how can you eat it like that? I made a face. And you told me that you loved eating onions like this since you were young. You also told me that a bashed knee isn't painful, and a scratched palm isn't painful, and carrying weights isn't heavy. You carried so many when you were young. Sacks with grain, sacks of cement. Giving birth, that's what's painful. You continued, not noticing my tears and snot. You were eating that onion like an apple, sitting on the step of our kitchen, as if it was a step of a village house. You were eating an onion, and I was crying. Ти їла цибулю, бий яблик, сидячи на порожку поміж нашою кухнею і балконом. Фу, як ти так можеш їсти? Кривилася я. А ти казала, що з самого дитинства так любиш цибулю. Яшчэ ты казала, што разбітая далонька – гэта не балюча. І разбітая каленка – гэта не балюча. І цягаць цяжкасці – гэта не цяжка. Колькі ты іх нацягалася ў маладосці? Мешкі з зерня, мяхі з цэментам. Вось нараджаць балюча. Працягвала ты, не зважаючы на мае соплі і слёзы. Ты ела цыбулю, бо яблык, седзячы на парожку нашага балкона, бы на ганку вясковыя хаты. Ты ела цыбулю, а плакала я. Thank you so much. Дякую. Thank you so much all for coming. You know, this magic, we obviously, create some magic with Alesia. Thank you so much, Alesia. You know, I've been dreaming to perform with music for years, and finally we found each other.
Yes.
And but it wouldn't, the magic, you know, wouldn't really happen without all of you. You play as an important part in all of this, as we are. And thank you also, I thought it's important to say that we will contribute, we will donate whatever is left after we deducted the expenses for the political prisoners that are recently released.
Yeah.
So maybe... and what else? And here's Igor. He has some of my books. If you're interested. I guess that's all.
Next time we should put your books in front of me. I will tell it all the time.
Yeah. Thank you again so much. We love you. Thank you.
We love you.
Let's stay in that chat and yeah, let's have a drink. Живе Білорусь!